You got it at Five and Below for $10.
Yeah, Booga Mike backstory. I got it. I went to
Over
Five Below,
Five and Below.
found it on the shelf for $10. I don't know what it's doing at a Five Below,
Yeah.
but I had to have it. I knew right then and there when it made eye contact with me, I had to have it.
The actual microphone is like decent quality though. We're gonna use that.
Yeah, but it's actually kind of off. It sounds like more like.
Put it in the middle. So we got captured of all areas.
True. Yeah,
All
apparently
right.
it sounds a bit off, so I try to throw some equalizer shit in there to make it, whatever. It's not the point.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess season 4.
Season 4.
Season 4.
Season 4, boys.
With
With Mervin, our boy Mervin.
right here.
All right, Mervin, what's your last name?
Tovar.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Mervin
Mervin
Tovar.
Tovar. Got on my stage, just like, pretty sure all of y'all.
Everyone here.
I
Not true.
am,
We're not gonna mistake.
truly grateful for this opportunity.
Oh, God.
Looking forward to this. Yeah.
He
Thank
wants
you
to
very
thank
much.
God.
Well, the pre-game interview.
Wait, are we not recording yet?
No, we're recording right now.
Oh, shit.
This,
Okay.
this thing's been in
Did I
motion
ruin
for a
it?
minute, 16 seconds.
Oh shit, alright. Yeah, this goes pretty fast. So we will optimize our time. Alright, Mervin, I want you to hit us. You said that you know a lot about life. I take you have a lot of life experiences? Or
I'd
you
say
just
so.
have a
I mean,
good-
I'm only 20, so
Okay.
it's like,
Hey, well, a lot can be learned in that time.
that's right. That is right. Yeah. So you just start, go off.
bro. You
Yeah, just start ranting to us.
For real.
Ranting.
Yeah.
Yes.
What would you say your most controversial opinion is?
Oh, wait, maybe we don't want
Just like straight up controversial
Not controversial. I don't know.
Well, do you have any, like, philosophical opinions on things?
What did you mean by life stuff?
Like just living in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
because like it just all goes so fast,
Mm.
and like you were, can I cuss in here?
Yeah.
You fucking remember like old memories, and like I remember like one time I hung out with my buddy, and like 2 seconds went by, and then we hung out again, and I was like, dude, I haven't seen you in forever. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, it's fucking been like 7 months. And it's just like unbelievably fucking fast how time flies.
Yeah.
And like just like after you get off like whenever you grow up and like have jobs and shit, it just goes so much faster because like you have like a routine, and it doesn't you don't go through that much change.
Yeah.
You know?
So you think it's a problem that you get involved with a routine and then don't develop as much as a person? Do you think that's a bad thing, or would you say
I
No,
think
it's
that
not a bad
structure
thing.
is a good thing?
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying like you just do the same shit,
Kyle, Mike.
which is like whatever you do,
Mm.
and time you just don't have a sense of time,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So like school already fucking started like a month ago. Like we've been in school for a month, and
Yeah, it's moved pretty quick.
it's just really crazy,
Yeah.
crazy how fast time goes, and we just take shit for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't there's a lot of shit that like clouds your peace, like your unlimited desires.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sick person in the hospital right now is dying to have the opportunity you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like just being grateful for the little things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to do certain shit. Like you got to wake up today. Like you got to go to class. Like class fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But you got to go there. Like imagine if you did, like you couldn't go.
Yeah.
Like-
you didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah, like you just get to do all this shit. So
So you need to take advantage of all your opportunities while you have them.
Actually,
Yeah.
I can't help but have to comment on a couple of things, because when you were talking about the flow of time, I was talking to my boy the other day, and I was saying to him, you realize how fast time seems to be moving?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's almost like it's inconsistent, you know what I mean?
Right. Like, how many times of the week you're like, what's today?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You experience that a lot when you get in the routines that you do.
And second thing I was talking about, he was talking about being grateful for the things you have. I used to have a pretty negative outlook on life and everything, thought life was complete garbage or whatever because it was boring, stuck in a routine or whatever. Only when I, like, towards the end of the day, when I think of 3 things I was thankful for, really, like, changes your mindset on just how everything. Because, like, as I said, we as humans take a lot of things for granted just because we have them.
Yeah.
You only realize how much you've missed something until it's gone, is basically the entire thing.
Oh yeah. Or if you're not like working towards something, if you don't put it into perspective while it's happening, instead of after it's gone, like you said.
Yeah, I mean it's just more on the side of just gratitude and like understanding that what you should be thankful for what you have, because there's so much. Apparently, like, isn't it like 85% of the world doesn't like, it's like actually pretty like fucking poor. Like it's all like in Africa and like the bottom of India, and those people like live off like $2 a week or something, and
But
like
also,
they don't even have shoes whatsoever.
But also the levels of happiness, like overall happiness. I did a presentation or something last semester about how happy people are and how it's rapidly declining by percents each year. Like they were asked to rate on a level of, are you happy being number 1?
But I feel like that's a lot more subjective though.
Yeah, well, it's, of course it's subjective, but people don't, it's not, it's something that you miss out on. Like happiness is an asset, and you work through, time goes so fast, and you don't appreciate stuff to the point where you just don't experience it. It's like we have to treat time and the opportunities for that as something that is worth, that it's like an asset is, I guess, what I'm getting at, but.
Chase, you've been pretty quiet. What you thinking about this, boss?
I don't know. I was thinking kind of the entire reason maybe for time moving so fast is because when you're busy with things, you forget that it's passing. You know, so if you're at school, you're working all day, you're not gonna be thinking about much else. You're just gonna be concentrated on the work, and that will just distract you from it all. You know, like maybe every once in a while, you might break the routine of that, as you were saying, but for the most part, that's what you're doing. You're working. Maybe it's not a uniform routine, but it's still there.
Yeah.
That you have to do stuff every day still, and like that's a big part of it. I think.
What would you say have been your most heavy routines, something that you do every day, and then do you feel like those routines have kept you from appreciating your time? Because like you were talking about when you're hanging out with your friend,
Yeah.
how time flies so fast.
Yeah.
Do you think, what routines do you get caught up in every day?
Work,
Yeah.
school.
And you said, where was it that you worked?
I help breed puppies.
Okay.
I
That's
help
cool.
breed puppies. Yeah.
That's cool.
Is there enjoyment in that for you? Is there like a feeling of happiness
Yeah.
at your work that you make that time worth it?
Yeah. A lot of times it's beautiful, man, because like I get to see these puppies grow, and it's kind of like raising your kid. Like you get to see him be born, and it's like the last litter we had, she gave birth to 12 puppies.
Yeah.
She lost 6, but she still had 6. Like they're still alive, they're still growing, and this is just like a beautiful moment, like getting to see these puppies grow. So like I do enjoy going to work and stuff like that. The people there are really nice too. They're really old, and the dude that I work for, I kind of look up to him as a role model. Such in short time too. That's also a thing that I stand by. Like, you can be with somebody forever, and you won't even think about it, and like, you can be with somebody else for like a couple months. You can be friends with them and like see how they've inspired you and changed your life views on stuff and shit. And it's just crazy how so much impact people have on you, on our things. So
Knowing your time, I guess.
yeah,
How much people impact your time, and
Yeah.
how you're constantly fighting,
yeah,
like, to spend time where you think it's the most valuable.
And like we all have things we have to do. We all have like commitments, and we all have like routines. But I feel like a lot of it is like trying to at least like get some enjoyment out of the stuff that you wouldn't usually think. Like for example, if you're going to school with the mindset of, oh, I hate it, then this is useless for me. You're not actually going to learn anything. You're just going to be stuck in that shitty headset or headspace the entire day, and it's going to be useless. But if you're actually thinking like, I mean, I'm going to learn and I'm going to advance my future, it's going to be more useful to you.
You
Yeah,
said
I'll have more.
happiness was subjective, and that's a mindset, you know,
Mhm.
that you have to put yourself in to do it, to love what you do, instead of to just do what you love, you know?
Yeah.
What were you saying, Matt?
I know there's like some philosophy called Taoism, and I haven't like researched heavily into it, but it's about basically enjoying any amount of action you do, whether it be work, homework, whatever, just any fun that you have, you know what I'm saying? I think it's more about, I can't speak on it because as I said, I haven't done much research, but like someone told me about it for a little bit. But it really is about like finding enjoyment in the smallest of things that you do. I guess understand that it's for a purpose or something.
I think that has to do with the value we put on life, how our perspective of life, because if you see life as a commodity, something that just, that is very worth it, or if you see life as something that comes and goes, just a happenstance, then you're less likely to appreciate the happenstance than something that you're here to do, something that you are blessed with. You know what I
Right.
mean? You were talking about that.
Like y'all said, everything in just perspective and just how you view things, and like that's why a lot of people are just like depression and stuff like that, because like also like the environment that you're surrounded yourself with, like if you're not surrounded by like positivity and like you're not being grateful and stuff for just the little things, like today the world we live in is just materialistic as fuck, and like social media and stuff, it's just easy to get off fucking like your vision of like trying to keep like a positive attitude and shit, cause like everywhere you look it's just negative, and like material stuff. So yeah, trying to keep a positive perspective and like a good view on life is like it's just tough.
How would you say that you view life that helps you to stay out of that materialistic society? What do you do every day that keeps you from devaluing the essence of life?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I have this my wallpaper is just a note that I wrote. It's just because you get to, and it's just me getting
like
to
that.
do all this stuff. Like I don't have to go to work.
Yeah.
Like imagine if I didn't go to work. Like I work fucking 4 days a week. Like imagine if I didn't go work. Like Saturdays I work from 7 to 2. I have to get up at 6:30. I'm like fuck, dude. Like every fucking Saturday I'm like fuck. But then I'm like, dude, imagine if you didn't have a job. Like
Yeah.
and like even there when I'm at work, like it's just easy to like fucking like get off that, cause like you're just so focused on work, and it's like you get to, buddy, like you get to. Not a lot of people fucking get to,
I really do like that whole mindset and mentality.
That's the episode name, by the way. Now,
and
because you get to.
Yeah, and like that mantra, I would call like some sort of philosophical mantra, just because you get to. Do you have any other ones that you use to help yourself carry on through like the daily process of life?
There's this one, David Gessler, a teacher. I had comm ethics last semester, and one time we were about to end class, and he was like, I got this amazing quote that I got from, like, his teacher when he went to college or some shit like that. And he was just like, live right now because there's always something to look forward to. And that just hit me. Like, every day I went in there and I just listened to that man. That man just spoke, like, he just preached. I went in there, listened, sat my ass, fucking, it was like, magical. Like, it just, he was just throwing like advice on life.
Man was dropping wisdom.
Yeah, dropping wisdom like left and right, and I was just like soaking all this shit in. That's another thing that like I live by, just soaking everything in, like good or bad, because I saw this one video a long time ago where it was this one dude and he was like, live by the experiences and the intensity of those experiences. So like, if it's bad, intense level, or like good, like just soak it all in, because knowing what to do is just as important as knowing what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I got a question. Are you terribly religious?
Hell no.
You're not religious?
Dang, bro. I was just talking about that like yesterday with my girlfriend. Because like the dude I work for, he asked me. He was like, "You still go to church with your mom?" I used to be Catholic. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even say used to, because growing up, you just fucking like, you just forced to go to church like with your parents. Like I know you never fucking get a say because you're a kid. So you just fucking had to go. At least that's what my fucking experience was. Yeah. And like recently, I just started questioning everything. 'Cause like, just questioning everything in a sense of like trying to inform myself. 'Cause I wasn't like, I haven't read the Bible and shit like that. So like, just questioning everything in a sense of trying to inform myself. Mm-hmm. Not so much of like trying to break like their beliefs or like anything else, and like, who better else to question than your parents? So I started asking my parents. I was like, just started asking them all these questions about religion and shit. And like every single time, my mom would say, well, that's just what we've been taught. That's just what your parents told me. Or my parents told me. That's just what your grandparents told me. It's like, and then their grandparents told them. So it's like, if all this shit, it's just been passed down from generations to generations, it's like you have no concrete proof of anything. Like nobody today was alive back then to say, oh yeah, I was there, I saw it, like it's true, like he is real, and like it's just a whole bunch of questions that nobody has the answer to.
Mm. So, and then most people will just turn you down if you had. Mom, I asked my mom the same thing,
right.
And my stepdad, who were really religious, and they would always tell me, "You don't question that." I was like, "Who wrote the Bible? How do we know that they wrote that they were people, like real people?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "You just don't question it."
Yeah, and like another thing was that like basically all of it is like based off belief. Hmm. So if like everything is based off belief, is it really true? Like I can believe I'm fucking green. Is it wrong? Is it like true? They're gonna question me because like, oh, you're fucking crazy, like you're not fucking green. But like thing as big as that, like religion, like people don't really question it because there's just like
there's so many people that believe it's probably true.
Yeah, probably true, but like
it's like
it's just there's just a bunch of questions that like nobody has the answer to. Like my girlfriend told me that like Mary, Virgin Mary, just randomly got pregnant one day with Jesus, and like scientifically that doesn't fucking work. Like that's not how it works, you know. That's what she told me. She's read the Bible. Like her mom is very, very religious. So like.
I mean, I feel like we could go on talking about all day about religion. I feel like we're not really like getting any huge substance out of that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I want to see his perspective on it because you aren't terribly religious and you haven't been, you haven't been persuaded any other way, and we're not going to try to persuade you, obviously, or else you're gonna be.
No, there's no point in persuasion of any kind.
But if you aren't religious, I want to know what do you fill the gap with? Because people like to believe things. Or are you one of those very few people that are very comfortable with believing in nothing?
Nah, I'm just here to fucking live, buddy. Because there's like the chances of you being here are like 1 in like 100,000s.
Yeah.
It's like that fucking crazy.
That.
And like people are still fucking questioning like if they even should be here, if like they deserve the opportunity they have. It's like there's like just so much fucking shit that you can do. It's just unreal. So like
why not do it?
Yeah, realizing that like the chances of you actually being here are very, very fucking slim.
Infinitely small.
Yeah,
the
it's
universe
like
is
right.
gigantic.
Right.
It's actually infinite. So like the chances of you being here are incredibly small.
Yeah. So like it's just a thing I believe in. Just living, experiencing, like just filling my shit with as much memories as I can, like good and bad, because like that's the only thing you can fucking take.
Yeah.
You can't take this fucking shoe, you can't take your car, like money, fuck all that shit, you know?
Yeah. I always like to think about it if, like, so let's say there's a God, right? It doesn't have to be the Christian God. Let's say there's a God and you get up to the afterlife and his currency is experience. I like to think about what it would be like how you would be valued as a person if you had the craziest experiences and you got to live that shit. Or we did something like this where, like, heaven is like this, where you just get to retell the crazy shit that you had going on in your life. And everybody just sat around and was like, that's fucking hilarious.
And can you believe it? That motherfucker pulled a gun.
Yeah. Like that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, like also
the afterlife is Philosacast.
I'm just kidding.
You're being interviewed before you just go into it like nothing.
Philosacast season 1986.
This is purgatory.
You were saying something though.
I seen this one thing where it's like imagine after you died and like you're laying there in your deathbed and you see all these ghosts around you and like they're all like things you could have been, you could have done, and they're all saying like you could have brought me to life, why didn't you? And then you're just sitting there, you don't have a fucking answer. It's like just shit like that shit that you could do, but you just don't know why you're not. You know, like I've always wanted to like have a podcast, and like whenever you presented to me with this like opportunity, I hesitated, but then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like you've always wanted this, like fucking go ahead, why not? Like why not? You know, like why not? Like who fucking cares? You know.
So you seized your opportunity when you came.
You seized the
moment. That's like really flattering. First of all. But
I would also like to talk about another seize the moment of mine that on the same topic as him.
Okay.
So you know how I went to that concert the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a whole mosh pit kind of concert, whatever, and I was a bit worried that I'd die. I almost backed off. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna change my mindset. Instead of being afraid of weapons, this happens. I just said to myself, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna do what I want, and it doesn't matter what the outcome is at the end of the day, as long as I have a good time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that change of mindset of something new I'm afraid of I got this is a whole completely different thing, to be honest. And I feel like that's what really separates someone who wins at the end of the day and someone who loses and misses out. You know what I mean? Because they were too afraid to take that chance that could have helped them.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to stay in the bubble of their comfort zone. And I feel like maybe we should talk about that a bit. You know what I mean? About
being in your
how about the comfort zone usually isn't a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Our brain just tricks us into thinking because we're safe. You know what I mean? Because we're doing what we know. As I said, I think it just stems from that fear of uncertainty that we all as humans
We talked
have.
about that last episode, the fear of uncertainty. There's, uncertainty reduction theory. You're an org-com major, right?
Yeah.
You know uncertainty reduction theory?
Yeah.
I think that plays a huge role in every decision that people make. The decision that's going to cause the least uncertainty is the one that you take. And that's why some people stay boring, or they stay uneducated, or they don't have any experiences that they can look back on and be proud of.
Yeah.
Because they just follow in line with wherever that uncertainty pushes them, you know what I mean?
Chase over here dying. Bro, took a nap.
I went to bed at 2 and woke up at 6.
Bro's
Energetic
fighting for his
podcast
life
episode.
over here.
Yeah, Chase is asleep. Riley is gone.
Man's actually dreaming over here.
What's your opinion on this, Riley? He's gonna be like a kid that woke up from sleeping in his class. What?
Yeah. What? No, I think it kind of ties into what we were talking about last podcast, where it was being or having that Chase, can you please stop touching my face?
Yeah, what?
I think it kind of goes into what we were talking about last episode with the comfort zone and the uncertainty ideas. They can be a benefit, but they can also be a downfall. It just depends on how you look at it. For example, I remember talking about fight or flight. In a situation where you need fight or flight, it can help you survive. But say on the other hand, say you really want to do something, and part of your brain is telling you to do it, and part of you is telling not to do it, and it could turn out really good for you, but you didn't do it, because you were too afraid.
Yeah.
I feel like we should all try to live outside our comfort zone, entirely just do stuff we're uncomfortable with for a week.
For a week.
And just see what the difference is.
See what happens.
I think, you ever seen that movie Yes Man?
Yes, I have.
You just say yes to everything presented with you for a whole week and see where that leads you. Probably a crack addict in the middle of Milwaukee or some shit.
You wake up in Brazil. How did I get here?
The only fate worse than death.
I think living outside of your comfort zone, that's where all the best stories and experiences come from.
Right. Yeah, it's you said, what if you said yes for a whole week? There's not the slim number of people that I can say that I just fucking did this somewhere or did that
Mm-hmm. But also thinking about that, it also definitely depends on who you surround yourself with,
right,
and what you surround yourself with. Because if you hang out with a bunch of chess players for a week, then you might end up going to the bookstore. But if you hang out with
Go to the books.
yeah,
The next logical step: play chess, go to bookstore.
that was some logic. Right? You see my transition? But if you hung out with a bunch of dudes, if you hung out with some guys that were doing mushrooms for a full straight month, then
Oh my god.
you might end up somewhere that you are going to remember for the rest of your life, first of all, but second of all, you probably don't want to be. I think that you have to surround yourself with good experiential people to become more experienced. Or else, because if you surround yourself with people who stay in their comfort zone for their whole life, then you're never gonna, you won't have the influence to do the things that you want to do.
Right. It's that old saying of if you surround yourself with millionaires, 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th.
Yeah.
But if you surround yourself with 5 losers, you're gonna be the next.
Yeah.
It's just.
You're most like the 5 friends that you the 5 people you hang out with most often.
No wonder why I'm an asshole.
Fuck
you, Riley.
But you have to. So if we were to structure this, first you have to gain an appreciation of life, and whether that's through your philosophy, or whether that's through little quotes that you find each and every day, then you have to gain an appreciation for life. So then I think maybe the second thing would be, in order to get the most out of it, you have to set yourself experience. Like, you have to gain experience points. To do that,
Gain XP.
yeah, the XP, you have to put yourself in situations that are going to push you outside your comfort zone.
Right.
And then you have to say yes.
Right.
Would you say you live like that, or you're trying to live like that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Appreciating, living, experiencing as much as I can. You saying yes to as much as I can, like just going out with my mom, like just going out to lunch or something, or
Yeah.
like helping her with groceries. It's just small shit like that that can just change your whole life, because I used to not do that. She used to ask me if I wanted to go with her somewhere, or go like lunch or groceries, or just with my dad and shit. And I used to say no, I just to stay in my room, fucking. And then one day I just said yes. And I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna do shit anyways. Just whatever. Went with them, had lunch. It was like there has been so much time wasted that like you won't get back. 'Cause like whenever like you realize that yeah, you're living, but like you're living, but like also like the people around you have lives too, and like they're also living, they're getting older. Like your parents are like halfway through their life. Yeah. And like time just goes by so fast, like before you know it, it's like they're just gone. And like I love my mom, I love my dad. Like I just try to appreciate every moment with them, cause like also like my girlfriend's grandfather just passed away like earlier this year, and I seen her go through this like phase of she was just like upset, and like every little like memory that she had, she would remember some memory that she had with her grandpa, and she would just like bawl out. And I only have my mom's dad, my grandpa, like my other grandparents are not, they passed away, and then my mom's mom passed away like 8 years ago, 9 maybe, 10, see, I don't know. Anyway, so only my mom's dad is here, and he doesn't live here, like my family is from Mexico. Her dad is in Mexico, so anytime she calls over there, I asked if I could talk to him, just at least hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't hurt, like he's old, so like and like it just that little thing can mean so much if you let it, but like you just take shit for granted, cause like oh they're gonna be here tomorrow, they're gonna be here next week, like you don't fucking know that.
Exactly.
Like you don't know. So
have you taken interpersonal communication yet?
no, not yet.
In interpersonal communication, you learn the value of relationships.
Yeah.
And how building relationships is the best, is like, basically it's the peak of humanity.
Yeah.
If you build a loving and lasting relationship with a person, you don't get better. Like, humans do not get better than that.
Right.
So that's what we strive for every day.
Yeah.
You have to build relationships by going out and doing stuff like getting groceries with your mom,
Yeah.
going out to eat with your parents.
Yeah.
Or
Having
spending
a conversation with
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
like new people that
Yeah.
you haven't met, you haven't seen before. It's just moments like that where you truly get the high experience of life, and
The raw
yeah,
stuff.
it don't get any better than that.
It does not get any better than that. I think it's crazy.
Ooh. So me and Riley were actually talking about this today.
Mhm.
I would like to explore a bit of like individualism in a way, whereas like for example, like I'll say what I think I am, and you guys will say your perceptions of me, and we'll see if they align or not.
Okay.
Just stuff like that, because I think that's all pretty interesting.
Do you
How
wanna-
we have our own self-image and some other person can see us completely different than how we see ourselves.
Yeah. This is something that Dr. Gessler said the other day. We were talking about how your self-image affects your ethics and how it affects your communication. And he was talking about when someone asks, so who are you? What's up about you? He said, I think the question should be asked the other way around, because everybody has an individual perception of you. They get to decide who you are because of how much they know about you, because of how much they experience with you. And it's like, you don't get to decide because they already have an idea of it in their brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have a million different versions of you to a million different people. Everyone you know has a different perception of you.
Yeah.
And your goal is to change that perception to a loving, growing friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. And all the roles that you fix, you want to be the most influential and positive and loving role. You fill the most loving role that you possibly can.
Right. Yeah, you only know yourself through, like, other people. Like, other people say, like, oh, you're nice, like, you're hardworking, like, you've heard that.
Yeah.
So, like, what if you were the only person on Earth? Like, how would you know yourself then?
Yeah, then who are you?
Like, yeah, like, who are you?
Yeah.
It's funny that we do need a reference point.
Mm-hmm. Because honestly,
that's
nobody knows what the hell they're doing.
based.
That sounds like exactly your like overwhelming philosophy. Nobody knows what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're all just.
Oh, you got your own philosophy there?
Well, that's what he was. I guess that was just what I insinuated from what he was telling us, but.
Yeah, it's just everything is just a whole bunch of ideas just pushed in together. Like, you like you like those shoes because you saw somebody else. They look cool in them. Now I want to wear them.
Yeah.
It's just that type of shit. Like. Yeah.
And that makes you materialistic. Like,
yeah.
That's what you were talking about earlier when you were talking about society's becoming materialistic, because they they use the reference point and take the reference point to mean the world. Like.
Right.
They let that define them.
Right.
And that stops you from your happiness and from your experiences.
Yeah.
Keeps you in your comfort zone.
Right.
That's actually because, and you look at life like a gift.
Yeah.
You look at it not like it's just something that is and that you have to do, something that you get to do.
Yeah.
It makes you less materialistic. It makes you more appreciative. Helps you build relationships.
You get to enjoy more, cause
dude.
Cause my buddy's girlfriend, she was talking about how, like, she was negative and shit, and, like, you can coat your mind to be positive and not, like, letting that negativity affect you so much, because, like, if you think of a boat sinking, like, the boat doesn't sink because of the water around it. It sunk because of the water that got inside.
Yeah.
So, like, if you let all this shit get inside, it's like, you're not controlling yourself. You can't, you have to control
the inner environment of you.
Yeah.
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 Actually, I recently discovered, like, how to do that and everything, and it was pretty interesting. Cause I know we've talked about my best friend Marcus Aurelius a lot, Riley.
Of course.
And basically, he talks about how everything we see that we perceive as good and bad is just perceptions. It really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. So in a way, I've used that as my coding, like, and I've really been focusing on a lot of, like, whole self-love and just everything like that. And I think that's a pretty cool and interesting concept we need to get into. Because recently I asked the question of, why wouldn't somebody love themselves? Like, you know what I mean? Like, aren't you? Aren't you the reason you're alive? Aren't you the reason why you've got here? Aren't you the reason that you've progressed this far? Like, aren't you the reason that you've outperformed your peers and overcame your obstacles? Why wouldn't you love yourself? You know what I'm saying? And my whole thought on self-love was, a person who loves himself will want to improve himself. A person who doesn't love himself will never want to. They'll just complain about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, I don't like this about myself, says the person without self-love. The person with self-love says, I don't like this aspect of myself. I'm going to work on it to improve myself.
And if you don't love yourself,
you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
You don't want to help yourself.
You can't help anybody else.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, I don't think that statement is necessarily true.
What do you mean?
Like, because even people without self-love volunteer and help people out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may just not have that inner satisfaction.
Yeah.
So
when you talk about in an ethical sense, I'm going to refer to Gessler like all the freaking time.
Yeah.
In an ethical sense, the ethical and moral development of people is for selfish reasons. And then finally, the last
isn't that
stage,
psychological egoism?
Yeah, you do good things because you want to feel good about yourself doing good things. And I feel like that kind of also contributes to it. It's when you finally realize that self-love, first of all, and then that you can like share that with people, that you are truly ethically and morally developed. You know? And so if you don't love yourself, then I think actually that you're not fully ethically developed. Because you haven't moved past that mirror kind of ethics.
Can you repeat yourself?
Like the whole thing, or
No.
it's like, bruh.
Starting from the if you don't love yourself part.
So if you don't love yourself, therefore you do things to compensate for the lack of confidence you have because you don't love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you do that. You do ethical things. You do things to help people. You build relationships for selfish reasons. And because of that, like by definition, you are unethical. So I don't think you can be ethical until you fully love yourself.
Sure.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to disagree.
I thought
man just explained the whole theory. But I mean, there has been like arguments against psychological egoism. Yeah. But I don't want to get into that. Probably because my brain's not working at its proper state right now.
But I think if you love yourself and you come to appreciate your circumstances, you don't let that water get in, you don't let yourself sink, then you understand what makes the world go round. And that peak humanity we were talking about, creating relationships and loving and being a good friend, being a brother, like we're all brothers, so being a brother, you have to first realize your self-worth and you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Wait. Also, can we go back to that whole self-love part for a second?
Go for it.
Because so you're saying if you love yourself and you perform like actions to help others, that's a good thing, like that's ethical. But if you don't love yourself and you perform actions, that makes you unethical.
It's ethical in the utilitarian sense, in the fact that you are doing good things. But it's unethical in the underlying base sense that you're doing them for selfish reasons.
But why would that be a bad thing if you are helping other people?
Because it's the motivation. I forget who said it. There was a philosopher that talked about motivation and ethics and how motivation is motivation decides whether or not something is ethical. Because you can help a million people and do it for the money and for the fame, for all this material shit that obviously like you don't get to take with you.
Yeah.
When you die.
Of course.
So all you have left is your motivation for doing those things. When you strip everything away, it's your motivation for being selfish. So therefore, is not ethical.
So what would you say about the good feeling you get when you help people? Would that be a selfish thing?
I think that is something that builds self-love.
Okay, do you believe that helps you build yourself into a better person?
Yeah, I would say that it can, as long as your motivations are in the right spot.
Okay.
If you have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, I know you like that.
I know.
If you have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset, you'll realize that that's what it's all about. That's where you develop empathy and shit. When you feel the happiness of another person, not when you feel the happiness of feeling like a good person.
Yeah.
Because you.
Oh, you're talking about it like that.
Yeah.
You're basically gassing yourself up because you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah. So it's literally so you don't feel bad if you did nothing. Right. That's what makes you unethical. Is if you're doing it so you don't feel bad to reduce uncertainty.
I have to talk about the growth and fixed mindset here because
he's about to go on a rant.
One, I love it. Two, I wrote a little paper about it just in my own free time without like school or whatever. So basically, I just remember reading some statistics that talked about those with a fixed mindset never improved their grades, but those who had bad grades and had the growth mindset improved their grades by 90%. Like, that's freaking crazy, man.
Once again, though, to do with who you surround yourself with.
But I'm just talking about mindset in general.
Yeah.
We're just going there.
Okay. I'll get off that then.
But it's so cool because the brain is such a malleable kind of thing. You know what I mean? You could really be someone who you want to be, have the same mindset as the individual. The only one stopping you, funny enough, is you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I think we're talking about like things that you say you become.
Yeah.
Right.
We were talking about that when he was talking about like when you die and you look at all the ghosts.
No. Like, we were talking about this like last episode. Like, what you think about is who you become.
Oh yeah, what a man sits and thinks about all day long is who he is.
Yeah, who he is.
Yeah, we're just philosophers.
Yeah, like the subconscious will like manifest that into you.
Yeah, and creating those patterns.
Yeah.
That routine, bro. We're like circling back. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. That routine you create, but like in your brain, is what makes you an individual or part of the collective.
Speaking of routines, I gotta say, we were talking about it earlier today. I didn't budge in because you guys were going back and forth. I hate routines. I think routines literally are part of like the stagnation of life itself.
Yeah. But routines also make... Continue.
Well, I mean, true, but technically a routine doesn't have to be stale. Like, for example, going to class, you could be going to different classes at the same time.
Yeah.
That would technically be a routine.
Yeah.
But it's just like the same boring old routine of do this, repeat. Like, go to school, 10 minutes after, go to work. Go back, come back home, do homework, go to bed, repeat. I did that second semester of freshman year. I nearly lost my mind. You know what I mean? I'm not that kind of person who falls into routines. Because I think the part of the joy of life is it being spontaneous, you know what I mean? Like, it being different in a way every day, you know what I mean? Yeah. This day was not the same as that day before. You know, there's always something different. Mm-hmm. Even if it's the small amount. But stagnating your day is not a fun time, and personally, that's why I hate routines. I feel like there are better ways to make use of your time than falling into a routine, because you could be in a routine and it could be completely unproductive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what do you think about a routine that you genuinely care about? Something like...
Structure.
Yeah. Like let's say every day you really love Madden, right? And you go home and you get really good at Madden, and that becomes part of your abilities and your personality, right?
Okay.
Would you say that's a bad thing?
I mean, if you're doing what you love, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I wouldn't call it a bad thing. But what is productive out of Madden? Like, why does that... I mean, you say it brings you joy, right?
Yeah, it brings you joy.
That'd be... If something brings you joy, I would, in a way, call it productive, because that's adding to your better mental state. Yeah. Now, let's say you play a game that you hate for 6 hours. You've wasted that much time. You could have been doing something else. You could have been making deals. You could have been talking to people. Be social. Like, the part of the joy of humanity is being social. That's where I find value. That's like my little philosophy. Just my little secular philosophy is I find value in human connection. That's what I feel like one of the objectives of life is just to learn from others, to build experience off others. How to grow as a person is you understand yourself around others, you know what I mean? Like, we use each other as a reference point, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If, like how we were going back to the example, if you were the last one on Earth, you know what I mean? Who are you? You wouldn't know, because we use each other as a reference point.
And there's a sociology term for that. It's called the looking glass self.
The looking glass self.
So it's like you're looking at yourself through other people's perspectives.
All the time.
In order to, like, kind of figure out how they might react to some certain stimuli that you could put out there. Yeah. To possibly avoid it or choose to do something.
But also they're like people are like a mirror kind of thing. I think that's what, I forget.
It's sort of like that.
Yeah, people act like a mirror for you. And then you let what they think of you control you. and dictate who you become as a
I
person.
simultaneously hate that at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
I do.
think it's
Well,
necessary.
I know
it.
it might be necessary, but I do a lot of introspection, as you know. I don't know. I feel like you yourself should embrace like who you think you are, who you want to be. You know what I mean? I feel like you shouldn't be swayed by the opinion of others in a way. You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess it is technically natural because we all every human falls into the same pattern. It's almost like I wonder what it'd be like if we started breaking out of those, like, social patterns. Like, would that make us strange? Would that make us a leader? Like, is that what a leader really is at the end of the day? Someone who doesn't get swayed by another individual's opinion, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or someone who knows how to take care of their group and push them to progress.
Yeah.
And to make them all better. Like, you know what I mean?
Both of those are leaders. One of them is just more successful than the other.
Yeah.
True.
As a leader without organization or structure or anything like that is just ends up being a bad leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Not necessarily bad.
I don't know
Well,
about
maybe
that.
not a bad leader, but maybe less effective. I don't know.
The
That might
most
be a fun
effective
thought.
leaders are also just motivational.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it also depends on what we're defining as a leader. Like, a warlord, we could be talking about a warlord. We could be talking about a businessman. We could be talking about some dude who started this podcast. You know, casual
Okay.
plugs.
Well, if we're talking about humanity and individual relationships as the height of humanity, right? Then a leader is someone that builds up the people they care about to be the person that they want to be.
Yeah. I
In that
guess.
sense, like, I mean,
Yeah.
if that, I assume that's who we're talking about.
Yeah, I think that definition would work for sure.
Do you think you do that in your everyday life?
What do you think it's your obligation to help other people? We'll start there.
Nah, I don't think it's my obligation. I think like if you like it, if you like helping people, then it's really just like effortlessly. Like you do it so effortlessly, you don't really think much of it, and it just comes and you just do shit that you don't even think about, and to other people it might be like, or questioning if they even should do that stuff or not. So
I thought it was funny. I just imagine, like, Matt was like, is it your obligation to help people? And I just, it's like, no, bro, he gets to. Like, the fucking,
Going
Murphy
back-
gets to help people.
going back to your routine thing, yeah, it's like you do the same shit every day, but isn't it crazy how on an everyday basis you look at every day and everything's the same, but whenever you look back, everything's just different.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing changes every day, like on day to day. But then you look back at like this summer and like, oh shit, like I didn't know I did that, and then like just different shit. Everything's just different whenever you look back at stuff.
Yeah. Nah, I feel like routines just get me bored. Basically, it's the whole thing. I don't know. I feel like, in a way, I don't know. They just don't allow me to enjoy life to the extent I wanted to.
But
How about
like you
routines?
only get this moment, like you're in this college moment, like only once. Like you can't go back to your like 20th year. So like
I hope not.
no, like it's just you only get this certain amount of time right
True.
now. So like once it's done, like you can go back and like try to redo the experiences, but it just won't be the same.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to end up living vicariously through somebody else.
Yeah.
You're never going to get to do it again. Which is,
It's kind of interesting how time works.
yeah.
Like, if you think about it, the first day you're born, that's your whole life. Second day, that's half of your life. But when you've lived for so long, you live 10 years, that's already like 3,650 days. Probably
Damn, he did it off the top of the dome.
I'm probably actually wrong about that.
Just multiply by 10.
Yeah.
Just add a 0 to the end.
Yeah.
Come on back.
But then one day doesn't seem as valuable. You know? Like, you're not thinking that way when you're 10, but it's true. Like, I noticed Isaiah over here, he has some fries, right?
Oh.
He dropped a fry on the floor earlier.
Dang,
But he still had fries.
Chase, I love you so much.
But he still had more fries, so it's not like it mattered that much at that moment. But if it had been his last fry, he might have been a little upset about it.
Ooh.
Okay, that was pretty.
Dude, that was philosophical as fuck.
There you go.
See, I want to get back on like the little time thing that you were going about, because what I always think about is, you ever think about like how almost every day and like all throughout life people try so fucking hard to manage time, and like time. The thing is with time is like, how do we even know like it's real? It's more of just a construct.
It
is a concept, yeah.
And like thinking about it is like, people try and manage that shit so hard, and even people that think that they are like good at time management, they still slip up with
man's inability to control nature.
For real,
again.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what's up. And most people who try to manage time spend so much time trying to manage their time.
Exactly. Instead of doing what they want to do.
The time paradox.
Yeah.
That's why.
By Matt Draw.
That's why every day, if I need to do something that day, I'll make a list of 3 things. That's what I'm doing that day. I can do stuff afterwards, or I can do stuff in between, but that's what I have to get done that day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even gonna lie, I book myself up. But the thing is though, is that like, I get those things done, but like in between each one, like I get like some wild crazy shit just to like pop in and like, you know, whatever.
He says yes. Every time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Zeke is a yes man. If you
Cat,
this
that
is
is Cat.
Zeke, so
Nice to meet you.
Zeke is the yes.
What's your name?
Mervin.
Nice to meet you, dog.
Alright, so back on the theory of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but
So we're not in the theory of time.
Alright, back on time, we're not gonna talk about time.
no, there's
He said, never mind.
I saw this thing one time, maybe like Reddit or something, of this theory this guy had that, you know how old people say time goes so fast, and you don't think about how time goes so fast. What if time actually fucking speeds up as you get older?
I've thought about that before.
What if when you're little, like time is actually slower because
What
it's
if it's
not
just,
real,
like, your
like
perception of time?
Yeah, it's just subjective, like. And then when you get old, you start going fast as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Time is linked to your...
Time
Wally
like literally
West.
starts flying by your eyes.
How old are you, Zeke?
22.
Okay.
Time is linked to your cells in your body and how they're decaying.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, this shit seems to be going so fast.
And maybe you're just dying.
Yeah. Or maybe you're just fucking schizophrenic or something.
Truly.
The voice in your head are just like, yo, don't you think this shit going fast? It's like, yeah.
Bro, just imagine, like, if you could, like, see time flying by your eyes like that, and, like, you look at your hands and start to see them start to wrinkle and shit.
that would be cursed, man. Hell no.
So would you rather live as Benjamin Button then, or?
You wouldn't live it up.
As you're young and stuff,
No, I
though,
don't know what that is.
you're like,
I'll explain this.
you don't notice it.
Yeah.
But, like, once you get, like, hella old, then you just start even, like, more wrinkles just forming.
Yeah.
You know what I
Wake
mean?
up one day and it's like, whoa,
Like, whoa, I'm old. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm really old.
wrinkly mode. Zeke's hella wrinkly for those who can't see them.
I have no inch of smooth skin on me.
He's already looking like Yoda.
But so
Okay.
so Benjamin Button, right, is
Like a
basically
Sphinx
a
cat.
movie about this guy
My God.
who lives backwards. Like he's born a grown ass, old ass man and lives and dies when he is like,
Baby.
yeah, when you would be born as a baby. You know what I'm saying? Would you rather live like that, or would you rather?
Nah, I'd be lame as fuck.
Yeah, that would be lame as fuck.
Yeah.
That would
So-
be pretty lame.
I like
think
the
it'd be
build
cool
up.
I'd go to shitting myself to go back to shitting myself.
real?
To gain.
Isn't one of the plot points in the movie that he's like actually 12, but he looks like an old man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So when he has,
I
like,
would
a
say
crush on a
if you
12-year-old,
came out
he
with
seems
the
like a pedo.
experience of an old man, that would be pretty fucking dope.
But you wouldn't
started
have
off
the...
with hella armor and shit.
hella
be awesome.
armor.
I don't know.
Bro, you act like kids aren't invincible.
Huh?
You
Yeah,
act like
dude.
kids
I would
aren't
beat the shit out of a kid.
Bro, listen, whenever I was a kid,
You're 20,
I like beat the fuck out of
20,
myself.
talking about a kid.
Like, not actually, but like, I'd skateboard and all this shit, and do all kinds of wild shit, and like, fall and just be like, oh, whatever. But like, now I fall and I'm just like, ah.
You're like an old man.
Like the
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
For real. But like, whenever I was a kid, I'd be like launching myself across the room and like throwing myself into walls and be like, oh, whatever.
I've never done that. I've never thought.
Really?
I've took so much fall
Intentionally.
damage as a child.
I have the most off-topic tangent that I want to get on, and I'm pretty sure I've asked both Chase and Riley this on multiple occasions. There are waves of toddlers coming at you, 50 at a time, and all you have is a baseball bat. How many
I'm
rounds do you
swinging.
think you can survive?
Well, yeah, we know you're swinging.
At least 22.
See, I would like combine the swings with like punches. If they get too close,
He's
I'm
doing
throwing
combos.
Yeah, and
Homies
then,
whipping
like,
out.
if I get some like distance on them, then I'm swinging again. Like,
Yeah, no, we need an actual figure here, Zeke.
We need to get
figure,
toddlers
yeah.
and test out this theory.
Yeah, how many
how many toddlers were there again?
50 per wave. How many waves do you think
50
you can
per
get?
wave. Oh,
50 is
dude,
a
this
lot.
is cake. I feel like I'm hitting like 10 to 5 per swing.
But remember, they're all going to weigh your legs down, bro.
50
Think
kids.
about
Not if I let them don't
It's
even be
just like,
close.
no, if he's
Are you,
thinking,
you're
he's
going to
talking
crane
about-
kick them, bro?
Nah, bro.
waves
See, like
of
they're gonna
50
come.
kids.
I'm gonna like run. They're gonna be following me. I'm gonna turn real quick and hit them with a bat. And then like I'm gonna keep running
Oh,
again.
man.
They're gonna build up again, and then I'm gonna turn and hit them with a bat.
So you're playing COD Zombies.
I'm
is what she
100%
sounds like.
playing COD Zombies.
And then you see
You
a
forgot to
body
buy the
kicking
doors,
you
you
like
can
this.
I 100% know that I'm faster than toddlers. So like, fuck, dude. I can just outrun them and be like, bat.
Dude, honestly, play peekaboo with them and they'll all fall over, bro. You go, boom! Honestly, just start running at them and
Instantly
they might run
right.
away, you know what I mean?
No, just
No, bro.
helicopter with like the baseball bat in one arm. Like the arm that's on the
That's
far
what I'm
side, just
saying.
spin around. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But
dude.
you gotta
Throw a
squat
banana
for-
peel on the
How long
ground.
can you
so
squat and do that though?
Okay, so
Those kids
yeah,
are hella
I'm not gonna
small.
helicopter it.
Yeah, I guess it
I don't
depends.
got that kind of endurance.
What if a kick? You can just give it a kick.
Yeah, it also depends on how much time we have in between waves. Like, if it gives me like 5 minutes to rest, I think it could be infinite. But if it's like they start coming 10 seconds after the wave before, I might be screwed.
Yeah,
See-
but how much time do you have to train for it though? Is the
No,
real
I feel
question.
like I already got that running and swinging
So you've been
stamina.
practicing.
Yeah,
Man, dude,
I
this
think
is
I already got it.
He's been studying the blood.
I'm ready for it, man. Bring on the toddlers.
He's like,
You
he's
may
Zeke's
quote him
theory
on
on
that.
the
Bring on the
apocalypse.
toddlers.
yeah, someone's gonna take that out of context. We need subtitles
That's the
for
only
this
clip
shit
we're
back
posting
to
on
work.
TikTok.
I can't wait for the next Mr. Beast video.
Yeah,
We fought off waves of toddlers.
and they got that shit from us. That's funny.
Oh my god,
All
bro. Speaking of time, we've hit an hour in. Nice.
Nice.
Okay. Well, and that, I mean, we just keep talking, but
Sure, why not?
But well, I'm sure that this might have been a step outside your comfort zone. Since we've talked about that today, we can all appreciate that, can't we, boys?
We can clap
Can
that
we clap
up.
him up?
Clap that
I appreciate it.
Murphy, what a man.
I appreciate
Shout out,
the
Merc.
opportunity. Is all love. All love toward your podcast. Hell yeah, you go boys.
Well, hell, I hope you get to make your own podcast, or if you want to be part of this one more often, you're more
I
than
appreciate
welcome.
that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's cut out time.
up. Alright,
Can you do
adios.
that?
Wait, season 4? Question mark?
Yeah, I
Season
believe so.
4.
Season 4!
All right, that was the shit. That was so.
Absolute banger.
Yeah, that.